Hi, and welcome to Zim Programmer channel. Today we are going to start a new project of point of sale system. So you have to keep in touch with me so that you can start and finish this project. This project can be presented as a school project or as a real project which you can start with to program or to make your projects for selling, right? So you have to stay tuned and you have to follow whatever I'm going to demonstrate in this tutorial so that you can be able to make something which is exactly like what I'm going to create right here. So without wasting much of the time, I have to explain this form, this design, which you are looking at on the screen right now. So I have this form, which is the login form, which has this username or text box and this password text box. So we are going to start by creating a login into our system. So before doing that, let's create a parent form right there, a parent form from where everything is going to be launched. So let's add a new form and say it's parent form right like this, right? And after creating this form, we have to just make it as big as it can, or let's just maximize Windows location. We set it to center screen, then we have to Windows 10, then instead of normal, let's say maximized, right like this. So that's it. This is where we are going to start on. So I'm not going to put anything right here, but let's go ahead and double click on this form, the login form, so that we can start coding right away. So I have done this. You can see, guys, we have this form. So firstly, I have to create a connection to my database. I have created this SQL server database, which you can see here, right here. The name is POS or point of sale. So in this database, I only have one table for login info, which I'm going to demonstrate which I'm going to use for demonstration. Let's see the contents of this table. This table has only one row, and the row contains this username, the admin, and the password. Let me give it like 150 so that it can be visible, right? This is the query, and this is the output from this table, which you can see I have an admin and this password. So this is the password which I'm going to log in into the system. So without wasting much time, let's go ahead and declare a connection string. And before declaring a connection string, up here on line 1, let's import system data, right? And let's import system data sql client, right like this. So I've imported all the libraries which I need to start coding. This is VB, right? So let's go ahead and declare our connection. Let's say this team connection is new SQL connection, and open this and then put out the actual connection string saying data source. This is the source from where I'm going to get the data from, right? So the source is desktop, and the name of my computer, right like this. right? And from there I'm going to put the initial catalog, as you can see right here, right? My database or my table from the database, you have seen it, but it is from the database called POS. And from there I'm going to, excuse me, let me reduce it a little bit. I'm going to use this integrated security, and let's put it to true. This means we are using Windows authentication mode. So this is the connection string which I have put in these two brackets. So let's move on to this where we can actually put the login code. So let's go back and double click this login button. This is the actual login which I want to do. So let's go ahead and this button, let's put this try catch block. Right, in this try we are going to open the connection, so that whatever we are going to do I will be from this connection string, right? So you can see we've opened the connection right now. Let's go ahead and start coding. So we are going to declare the command. So we are going to use this using and say cmd as new SQL command, like this. And our SQL command, we have to put the query inside here. Let's select all, which means we are putting a star, and from login info, like this, where username is called at username and password is equal at password, right? And we are going to use the connection like this. This is the connection initialization which we have done here. So let's go ahead and hit enter. So from there you can have a look. We have created this string and this login. Let's reduce again so that it can all be seen on one screen like this, right? So this is the code right here, and this is just a connection which has been opened or initialized here. So from there we are going to move on to the next where we are going to declare our parameters. So I'm going to say cmd dot parameters and say, excuse me, let me use the with statement with cmd dot parameters dot, instead of dot, let's just hit enter. We have created the parameters, and so let's set the parameters. So remember, we are using these parameters, this first parameter for username, second parameter for password, so that we can access the values from the database. So let's go ahead and add the first parameter is the username, like this, and it is an SQLDB type dot varchar, like this, and we are going to fetch the value from username text box, username text box dot text, like this, and the second parameter will be that password. So I'm going to say a password, and this is of SQLDB type. This is a variable character, and the value is from the password. Value is assigned to password textbox.text, like this. Alright, so we are done with these parameters. So let's go ahead and use this command to fill the data set. So let's go ahead and declare the adapter as new SQL data adapter, and then initialize to this command, right? So let's go ahead and declare a table, dim table as new data table, right? Like this. You can see we have done it. So let's fill the table adapter with fill table. We're going to fill the table with the result which was fetched using this query statement, right? So after this, we're going to see the result from this query. So I'm going to say adapter, sorry, we're going to check if, and say table dot rows, which means if there is something returned from this string, which means we have found the match of a username and password. Dot rows dot count is greater than 0, then, which means if you query the database and select everything from the login info where username and password is called password, and these values are being taken from the text boxes, and if we found anything from these text boxes, then we know that the user exists. But if the match is not found, we know that the user doesn't exist. So we're going to see a message. So we're going to say if the result or the rows of the table which has been filled from this query is the rows are greater than 0, it means that we have found the match. So I'm going to access the next form. So I'm going to show our parent form here, saying parent form like this, dot show, right? Else we're going to say message box dot show wrong username or password, login error, like this, and we are going to put the button is OK and the message box to error, right, like this. So that's it. I'm going to display this message if the match is not found. So let's go ahead and show here. I want to show the error message if any error occurs. Message box will show if any error occurred which led to the failure of execution of our code. We want to show the message, the error message, right, like this, and we put this heading as operation error, like this, and then show this OK button of the message box, and then the error message of the message box, right? So that's it. And finally, we want to close the connection, so you can see finally, and connection close right here. So this is the code for login. Let me reduce the size so that you can have a look again. Right, this is the login code for this point of sale. So let's go ahead and execute this so that you can see if no errors exist from our code. Right, let's execute it. Right, it has executed. So right here, let's put the username and the password, 1 2 3 4 5, like this, and login. Right, you can see we are logged in, we are on the current form right now. we are on this parent form right now. So it means our code is worked properly. So let's go ahead and have a look on the code again. If you're a new subscriber, please don't forget to subscribe to the Zing Programmer channel for more videos, and stay tuned for this project, for this point of sale project. So this is simply what is on ground right now. So we have done the login form, and we want to just proceed to the next level. So let's go ahead and change the properties of the password text box. We know that we have to mask this text box. So we're going to use the system password, use system password character. We're going to say true, and then if you execute again, you're going to see that the password will be no longer in plain text, but it will be masked text, so that it can be visible to users who are not obliged to see it. So let's go ahead and put admin like this, and put the correct password and login. So you can see we've logged in. So we again we are going to put this cancel button. So instead of just exiting, we're going to show some magic right there. So let's go ahead and double click this cancel button, and select it and double click it. So from this cancel button, what we want to do is we just want to clear the text box. So I'm going to say username textbox dot clear, and then password textbox dot clear like this, and then username textbox dot focus. Set the focus right there. Right, so that's it. This is all you have to do right there. And if we run again, you can see we can clear the text boxes if we enter in text right there. Alright, let's put some text right in, and to blah 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 blah. So let's enter the wrong password right there, and hit this login button. You can see we've entered wrong. We've entered the wrong username and password. Saying wrong username or password, right? And login error. So that's okay. If you hit this button, it will clear everything. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for the time. See you in the next video.